Hello, my YouTube family. It is Wednesday, June 29th, 2016. The 3-day weekend is almost upon us. It's almost upon us, people. Okay, and tomorrow is payday. Thank you, Jesus. Now, this is the check that I'll be splurging. No, I can't really say splurging. I'll be buying a few things for my birthday for next month. So, I won't splurge, but I'll buy a couple of things. You know what I mean? Okay, so let us do lips of the day. It is a discontinued product. I am mortified because I really thought that they still had this, but it is no longer. So don't bother looking for it if you're interested. I'm sure there's a dupe for it, which I'm desperately in the search of because I was like, oh, this one's finished. Let me just go buy another one. Yeah, you try that, okay, Nancy? Let me know how that works out for you. Okay, liner is NYX lip liner in brown, line, and the lip gloss. I'm mortified, people. I'm just mortified. It is a Bobbi Brown Essentials lip gloss, and this is in the color Fudge. You won't be able to see; it's too small. I try to show it to you anyway, even though I'm telling you it's too small. Fudge. And let's see, it's only there's like so little left in there that I can barely make. Can you see that? It's on My Lips for Better. I loved this lip gloss. Oh my God. But I can actually say I actually finished the lip gloss, people. Oh, finished, gone, goodbye. To the point where it got discontinued. So does anybody have a dupe for Bobbi Brown's Fudge lip gloss? I'll find one. Don't you worry. Oh, don't you worry. You know me, on the hunt. Okay. I'm still on the hunt for that the face powder that can give you a glow that works like, yeah. And I still want my MAC Care Blend. Yeah, that's in the back of my head. It came prominently in front when it realized, oh, you getting paid tomorrow? Well, why don't you buy me? It's in the card. Didn't I say I wasn't going to buy no more powders? I did say I was going to buy no more powders, right? I said I wasn't going to buy another powder. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, MAC Care Blend is a powder. I can't, people. I lied to my own self. Don't we all? By the way, another one bit the dust. I've got to get. Yeah, you heard me right. Another one gone. I don't understand. Don't understand. Don't understand. Okay? So there you go. Lips of the day. I've done a lip look on this before. I'm almost sure I've done a lip look on this before. There was nothing to watch last night. I watched a little bit of had to watch the swimming Olympic trials because Michael Phelps, honey, back in the thick of things, he said 8 years ago, he said, no, I'm not going to Rio. And they egged him on. They said, well, what if your mother wants you to go to Rio? Because you know your mom wants you to go to Rio, right? And he's like, I'm not going to Rio. Somewhere between him having himself a good time, meeting his fiance, getting her pregnant, having a baby boy, yeah, he's going to Rio. But he's so mature now. I mean, he grew up. He grew up. TMZ followed him through all of his shenanigans after he had won the Olympics of 2000, what? We were in 2016? 2008, I think. Was it 2012? I forget. Whichever one was the one that he won all those swimming medals. Anyway, and he said he wasn't going to, excuse me, people, I got something in my eye. He said he wasn't going back. He said he was done. He won all the medals that he needed to win, and he wasn't going to go anymore. You better get your ass to Rio. You've got a responsibility now. It's called a baby boy. So, yeah, you better make some ducats. Boy, you better make some ducats. So he's going to go to Rio, even though, I mean, he won last night's trial. He was so far ahead that he hit the you know, the panel and stood there and waited for the other swimmers to catch up to him. I was like, look at you. You just chilling, waiting for the other ones to catch up. He was so far ahead that, so you know, like, he's unstoppable right now, right? He's bigger, stronger, more mature, more focused. Unstoppable. So that is that with that upon that. People, you know, with people just dropping out like flies in my job, no one's position is safe. My position ain't safe. Nobody. With the amount of people that they are chopping off, you gotta go, you gotta go, you gotta. I go to work and I do this. Going into work, and when I come out, I do this. Thank you for another day, Jesus. Seriously. I don't even know what to say anymore. I don't even know what to say. Is there anything to say? I don't think so. And speaking of which, like I said, there wasn't anything to watch last night after the Olympic trials, which was from 8 to 9. So I had to kill time because I wasn't going to go to sleep at 9 o'clock, even though that would have been a good night's sleep. Excuse me. And judging by the way I'm yawning in your face, you would think that that's the time you should have gone to sleep, Nancy. I wound up watching my 12 Angry Men. That is, seriously, it just gets better every time I watch it. It just seriously gets better every single time I watch it. That is one phenomenal. It's a play in the form of a movie. They made a movie about the play because it originally was a play. And Henry Fonda, and I mean, all of these old timers that none of y'all youngins would know anything about. E.G. Marshall, Henry Fonda. Who else was in it? There's a whole bunch. I mean, I barely know him, so you know you ain't gonna know him. But it's so damn good. It's so, I mean, it is relevant to today. It really is relevant to today, if you pay attention. And all the types of people that are in the jury, you know, they have to decide whether this 18-year-old is guilty of killing his father or not. And due to the fact that this boy is of a certain ethnicity, no, he's not black, because it's a black and white movie, so he's of another certain ethnicity, but he is of an ethnicity. In all, the whole jury is male, 12 male men, 12 male white men. But each one has a background. Like there's one that has, like, I think it's an Italian accent. There's one that's Jewish. There's one that's, you know, each one is different. And each one has their own prejudices, with the exception of Henry Fonda. I can't go into it because I'll be talking about the whole damn thing, telling you the whole thing. If you're interested, I'm sure even if you YouTube it, they'll probably have the whole movie on YouTube, 12 Angry Men. Phenomenal. But I'm, like I said, I'm a woman of a certain age, so people in my generation would probably appreciate it more than people of your generation. And that's not to downplay your generation, but you're younger, so you probably wouldn't be interested in it until maybe you're a little older, if at all. It's a black and white movie, people. I know there are certain generations, certain youngins that don't appreciate a black and white film. It's black and white. It's not color. It's not color because it's in black and white. They didn't have color back then. You know, the younger kids, there's something passing around on Facebook. They showed, had to be like 10-year-olds or younger, 8 to 10-year-old. They put a telephone, an old-fashioned telephone, you know, dial and put it to your ear. And the kids were looking at it like, well, what is this? How do you use it? And it wasn't acting. These were honest to God. The innocence in their eyes was like, you can't fake that. They honest to God didn't know what a phone was. So, yeah. So that generation, I don't know what they're going to have by the time they get our age, because cell phones will be, I don't know, a thing of the past. I don't know. My bones will be, you know, good for buttons by that point. I'll be pushing up daisies by the time they get to my age. So they, honest to God, didn't know what a telephone was. It was an old-fashioned black rotary telephone. You know, the ones you had to. But, of course, your generation is probably push-button. I had a push-button phone, too, people. But before the push-button phone, I had the rotary, okay? God, I feel so old talking about these things. Talking about these things. Oh, my goodness. That don't seem old to me because I grew up with them. But then you talk to somebody. Did I ever tell you? I think I did tell you, some of you. I don't know if all of you know the story about seeing the movie Fast Time at Ridgemont High. And that, you know, it's an 80s film. It's an 80s film. I was in school. I was in high school during the 80s. So I was talking to a youngin'. This had to be when I first started at where I'm working now. I remember distinctly. It was a youngin', okay? Like 20, 21. And we were talking about movies that we liked and everything, and it hit upon the 80s. I don't know why he brought it up or I brought it up or whatever. And I said, did you ever see the movie Fast Time at Ridgemont High? And he said, yeah. And I said, well, how did you like it? I said, you know Spicoli is Sean Penn, right? He goes, yeah, I know that. He goes, I was all into the movie, but there was a section that I didn't understand. I said, well, what section are you talking about? He goes, okay, you know that section, it's a fast clip. There's papers being passed around in the classroom, and the entire class sniffs the paper. I said, oh, yeah. He said, what was that about? And I was like, I looked at him like, for real? You don't get it? He goes, no. He goes, I wasn't. I said, okay, never mind. He said, you would know, right? I said, yes, because that's the age I was when, yes. He goes, what's that about? I said, ditto papers. And he looked at me like, right over his head. I said, there was a machine called, I think it was well, I forgot the name of the machine, but it printed carbon copies of test papers. But the liquid that was used was alcohol based. And when it came out of the printer, it came out kind of wet. You have to set them aside, and then they would dry, and then they would get passed around as test papers. But sometimes the test wouldn't dry fully, and the paper was still moist, and you could smell the alcohol, and it smelled so good. So every time you got a sheet, the entire class, literally all at the same time, literally would go, and we'd get like a certain kind of a high. It would give us like a little bit of a buzz. Nothing, you know, nothing like ecstasy or anything like that. It would just make us like a little lightheaded for like 2 seconds. But the smell was incredible. It was incredible. So when you see that scene and the entire class sniffs the paper, that's the reason why. They were test papers that, I think the machine was called a Didiographer or something like that. Ditto machine. Well, in short, it was called a ditto machine, and you had to crank it by hand, and the sheets would come out. Yeah, you guys would not know anything about that. So when I had to explain it to him, he looked at me like I was talking in a different language. I said, never mind, you wouldn't understand. But I said, that's the gist of the whole scene. And only a certain generation will get the reference. And you obviously are not in that generation. He goes, but I still like the movie. I said, And I think that was the end of the conversation. I can't talk to people. I can't talk to people younger than me. They don't understand what I'm talking about. They don't understand the 80s and how fantastic they were. But the ditto machine, that paper was the business. I mean, we didn't enjoy getting the test. It was a test paper, okay? You take a test. But the paper, when it came to you, it just, I'm sure it killed a whole bunch of brain cells. I'm sure it did. I'm sure it did. But for just about 2 to 5 seconds, you had a, like an instant high. And then you took your test. Never mind. I know I'm talking to a lot of youngins out there. The information going right over your head. Never mind. Okay, well, that's all there is to it. That's all I have to say. There's nothing much to talk about. This is Lips of the Day. Unfortunately, it's a discontinued product. It's going in La Garbage, people. Oh, my God. You know that's breaking my heart, right? It's going in La Garbage. There really is nothing left. I mean, like, you can tell there's just, like, nothing left. Nothing. I mean, I was scraping the sides to just get this. Bobbi Brown, she just doesn't make her lip glosses the way she used to. I'm very upset about that. Times they are changing. They continue to change on a daily basis. That's it. That's all. I love my YouTube family. Hit me up. Let me know what you think. And I will talk to you tomorrow. Oh, by the way. Yeah, you think I'm finished. You know I'm never finished when I think I'm finished, right? Tonight is Greenleaf. So if anybody who's watching Greenleaf, let me know if you're going to be watching tonight, because I'll be watching tonight. Okay, I don't know if it's up against anything. I may have to DVR it. I'll let you know tomorrow if I DVR it, or if I DVR'd it, or if I watched it. I don't know, because I think there's still some more swimming trials that, I'm watching the trials before the Olympics, so I'll know the players, so to speak, the players, when the actual Olympics start. That's the reason why I like to watch the diving trials. I like to watch the swimming trials, men and women. What I really want to see, and I've missed them for quite a few summers now, and I'm very upset, synchronized swimming. Did they take that away from the Olympics? I love me some synchronized swimming, honey. What? I don't seem to catch it. I used to catch it once upon a time, and now I don't know if they've taken out the sport in the Olympics or what the deal is. I have no idea. In any event, I think I'm done now. I think I'm really done now. That's it. That's all. I'm just talking about stuff. I think that's what I'm going to call this video. Well, you would have realized that that's what I called it by the time you click on it. Just talking about stuff. Okay, so that's it. This is Lips of the Day. I'm done. Oh, I guess I should tell you. I'm wearing 2 face powders, just to let you know. Remember this godforsaken one, this Satin Glow that I told you about? That was like so ashy, it was like ridiculous. Well, I put this first, and then I put the Smashbox, what's it called? Halo. The Halo Hydrating Perfecting Powder on top, because this is kind of dark, and this is extraordinarily ashy and powdery. It's supposed to be glowy, but it's not a highlighter. It is a baked finishing powder. I showed you the baked finishing powder. Didn't I show you the baked finishing powder? This is the baked finishing powder, but when you swatch it, why is it baked finishing? It's got, as you can see, it's got sheen to it and everything. Oh, it's lovely. but it comes out ashy on my skin. That's not going to happen. When I tried putting it on by itself, I came out looking like Casper. No, not going to happen. So I combined this with my Smashbox, and it came out rather lovely. I was almost going to toss this in La Garbaggio. I was super disappointed, but it turned out keeper. And it's got a nice sheen to it too. Still, the sheen is still on my finger. Look at that. I guess I could try to use it as a highlighter, but it's kind of dull as a highlighter. It's not highlighter material. It's a finishing powder. It's supposed to give you a glow, but obviously this is a glow for lighter skinned individuals. So, but it doesn't have a shade. It doesn't have like a dark, a medium dark, medium deep, you know, like a MAC. It's just Satin Glow baked finishing powder. I found it on Amazon, people. It's you know, it doesn't even really have a name, but I think it's from Divine, and I have a Divine powder because it's the same exact packaging. So I'm thinking it's from Divine, but it doesn't say. Oh well, so just wanted to let you know I'm wearing two face powders. And that is that with that upon that. Now I'm going, people. Hit me up and let me know what you think, okay? I love you. I love my YouTube family. And I will talk to you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.